Boris Millet is a poi spinner, juggler, and performer based out of Paris, France. He's been spinning since 2010 and just recently started releasing content on Instagram. His videos have had insane numbers, and for good reason. He's an exceptional artist with so much experience, and I really enjoyed recording this episode. Support us on Patreon to help us continue the project. Thank you so much to our patrons. You know who you are, and we really appreciate you. Welcome to the Poidcast and enjoy the episode, my friends. Boris, episode 19. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited for this one. How are you doing today, man?
Yeah, doing great. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, we're stoked. Well, we can get right into it. We'll start at the very beginning. First of all, tell us how and when you got introduced to poi.
Well, I had to dig up some old pictures to remember because I didn't actually before the podcast, so that's good that I get to go on it. But I think it was 2010 probably. Back in my hometown, I was skateboarding a lot at the time, and the skate park was kind of this place where we all met and stuff when we were a teenager. And there was this girl doing some random 2-bit weave and windmill, and at some point she showed me a couple of tricks, and that's got back home.
And where were you living during that time?
So my hometown is called Bellegarde. It's a really small town, like not so far from the Swiss border, but in France.
Okay, France. Now, do you remember what year that was? Around what time?
Yeah, it was 2000. I think it's 2010.
2010. Yeah. Okay. I've been excited to hear these things. So you've been very new to the space as far as like the online space, right? So we'll get to that here in a moment. But I knew that you had been spinning for a long time. So 2010 makes sense in my brain. Okay. So when you did start spinning poi, this could be locally or online inspirations. Who were some of your earliest inspirations with poi?
But I suppose this friend of mine, Shaima was her name, that showed me the 2-bit weave and the windmill was really my first inspiration. Since without her, I never will have spin poi, I suppose. But then after that, online-wise, it was like many people. It was play poi and learning from ᴑɪᴜᴜᴜ and G, of course.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. And I'm sure everybody watching this episode is familiar with the last episode that we did, but we just barely had Nick on. So it's just awesome to see guests come before and after Nick that, took inspiration from Nick and play poi, the channel for their earliest years. It's really exciting. I did as well. So I want to get on to flow festivals, or what we call them in the States to be flow festivals. So it's a very American term, flow arts and flow festivals and all that. Do you have flow festivals in Europe? And is it more centered around juggling or music, or is it just more like flow arts or juggling type stuff? Like how does that work?
Well, I suppose there is the both. Like there is flow festival. The one that comes in mind are like Phoenix in Germany is probably the biggest one, and Roztoč in Czech Republic.
Shout out to Vojta.
Yeah, shout out to Vojta and to Christian, which is the organizer of Phoenix. And there's also stuff Art of Flow in Norway. There's stuff in Stockholm as well. So left and right, there's a bit of a flow event, yes. But I suppose there's a lot of juggling convention, as we call them,
right,
which are like circus oriented. So there will be a lot of jugglers, but there will be also acrobatics and flow arts, all at the same spot.
Sure. Yeah, and it's interesting out here. I guess they're much more distinct. I feel possibly I would have to make it out there to see how it actually works out there. But in the States, it's more, there are specific juggling conventions where there happens to be some poi spinners. There's starting to be more poi spinners at these things, but it's very separated in a lot of ways. We're getting definitely more molded together, but I feel like juggling is almost juggling and contemporary circus and all that stuff is probably a little bit more popular in Europe, I would imagine.
Well,
So when did you first attend your like, I would say, a flow arts festival?
wow.
Do you remember when and where
Flow
that
Art
was?
Flow Art Festival was pretty late, I suppose. It was probably my first Phoenix was 2015, so that would have been 5 years into it. But before that, I did some EGC, which is the European Juggling Convention,
Right.
in which you meet a lot of flow artists. So, yeah.
Interesting. So I remember Bo telling me, I was talking to Bo about this episode, and he told me that some years ago, I forget how many years ago it was, he was like, yeah, I met him at EJC, and he was
Oh, yeah.
working on some crazy 2-poi one hand, 3-pedal versus extension. And he said to me, he's like, I remember thinking, I will never be that good. So funny though, but just goes to show you how long ago that was. And, you were both in such different places, but yeah, tell me about meeting Bo. How was that when you first met him?
Was it EGC or was it even Phoenix? I don't really remember either, but what I remember is that what he was working on was the Sebmes, and I think that was it was some time ago, huh? And I think it was maybe as crazy as shit. So like,
yeah,
it was way back.
Yeah, totally. We'll get to Seb's mess here in a second because I have some questions for you about that, sir. But so did you get into poi, or I mean, what other props do you juggle? I know that you do juggle.
Yeah, like I do a little bit of everything, but nothing serious. Like I do, I don't know, some high hoops, clubs and ball, but just really super basic. It's more that helped me to learn my 3-poi juggling stuff, and just bought some three stuff from Mist recently. So slowly getting into those things as well, but nothing serious. As you know, I don't put so many hours into the other props. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I've been curious about that because I know it's I mean, I don't see anybody being able to do Seb's mess and not being able to do other things with balls, clubs, or at least a little bit. So about flow festivals, we've been having a lot of people write in and ask questions about when you're coming to the States, or if you do have any plans on coming to the States. So do you ever want to come here, or do you have plans to come here?
Oh, well, definitely. Like, I don't have plans, but the idea is really good. Like I'm definitely up for it if there is nice opportunities. I have to say it's not on the top of my list of the place I want to travel first, but
That's fair.
It's somewhere in the list, not at the top, but
yeah. Where is the top? Where do you want to go next? What festival would you go to if you could, or event or whatever, if you could retreat?
For juggling, I don't know. Like the next place I really want to get to is Japan, because I have some friends over there, and I just want to discover the country and stuff like this. I know there is the GGF as well happening, so if we can time the travel at the same time as the festival, it's cool, of course. But I think my travel plans are more not so oriented towards any.
Yeah. I lived in Japan for about 5 months, and I wish it was under slightly different circumstances, but it was very fun, and I really want to make it out again. And I know Japan is just going crazy with juggling, poi spinning. I mean, is it JJF? Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Yeah, whatever that event is called, I think it is JJF, has been going crazy. Bo's been over there a couple of years in a row now, and just the level of talent, it seems to be really exploding over there. If we do get any Japanese listeners, shout out to you. I hope you are listening. Let's get Boris out there. I'd love to get out there as well. Y'all could show me up in terms of juggling. And Joey's popping off in the corner. He wants to go too. Yeah. Hopefully we can see Bo over there. That would be great. We'll convince him to squat up. So I do want to ask you about performing with poi, or I mean, I don't know if you do other types of performances, but do you perform with poi?
Well, the short answer is not yet, because I've been doing the counting is going fast. Like I just did 3 performances since I spin Poi, like 2 fire shows, like super local, super small town. Like the hunter got some meat and there's a barbecue and there's music playing from a local band, and I'm in the
That
middle doing
sounds great.
fire, so that's it, which was really fun. And but other than that, I just did one time the gala, the indoor gala of Phoenix, and it
Oh
was
yeah,
2017 already or something. So that was some time ago.
very nice. How was that? Did you choreograph it?
Yeah. Like I had a month to prepare it, so I did a choreograph. Yeah.
Nice. You put together an act. I'm curious as to what that looked like. Did you have any 3-poi in there?
No, there was no 3-poi. It's just 2-poi. Just 2-poi from the beginning. Like was probably around 5-minute act.
Okay.
I don't know what to say about it really.
Yeah. So how is the process? I mean, how was the process of actually putting together the act? Like, was it more of a contemporary, like a theatrical performance at times, or was it like centered around like a specific tech poi or like quote unquote tech poi? I don't even know what you like, technical patterns or like more manipulation. Because I know there's so many different approaches to creating an act with poi, and I'm
Yeah.
curious as to your approach, because you have such an interesting approach to this stuff.
Well, I suppose it was the first stuff I actually wrote, so the process kind of evolved since then. But this one was like I first picked the music, and that helped me a lot then, because I was like, well, the weight structure, it makes sense to, in terms of energy and intensity, to be kind of low at the beginning, then there's the drop, so that helped me to figure out the structure of the thing. And then what I put inside was kind of, I wouldn't say random, but kind of what I had in mind at the time. So I was like, oh, I really want to put this one. And then it's kind of the same way I do the video on Instagram, is like I have some specific tricks I did that I like. And then I'm thinking about how do I get there, how I get to that trick in like something that kind of makes sense, and how I keep going after it. Yeah. So
it's funny you mention Instagram when you talk about putting together a performance, because when I was putting together my first show for a Flow Arts Festival, I was thinking to myself, because I had 6 minutes, and I was like, well, if you really think about it, I release minute-long clips all the time, so it's just 6 of those, and like more theatrical and strung together, and like some kind of slower breaks and ebbs and flows and stuff. But I think that structuring sequences for videos has actually helped me a lot for the process of making an act. And I've always been more geared towards making longer sequences. Do you, when you make Instagram clips, do you typically plan everything that you're going to do, like the full sequence, or is it more like improv typically?
No, like at the moment it's all written, so like there's no improv at all for the sequence I put out, like except a couple of one where it's kind of it was kind of just a nice clip, but most of the other one are like defined in advance, and there's no everything is written.
Yeah, I really respect that, and I feel very similarly. I try to do the same thing on my videos, because I think structuring the sequence and having it be unique as a whole is really fun, and trying to have the right amount of downs, and like the whole thing as a whole is always going to be unique. And yeah, it's definitely, you can just put a flavor on a certain video, a certain sequence.
Like a mini act.
And as far as spinning fire, I guess when you did that performance at the local one, I bet your fire style is so different from your contact poi style. Is that right?
Yeah. It was, but it was also really early on. Like I think it was probably I was 2 years in or something like this. So it was not much trick anyway, contact wise or spin wise. So it was pretty much repeating the same.
Sure.
The same couple of tricks. Yeah.
Joey, what I want you to do, I forgot to have Joey pull this up prior, so he's going to take him a second. It's on Instagram. It's Boris's Instagram. Now, the little picture is going to be him with the mushroom eyes. This is like my favorite video that you've put out. It's one of my favorite just shorter poi videos that's ever been done. Yeah, it's like almost all the way at the bottom. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Yeah, this video, we're gonna play it here. The editing was so unique. Obviously the tricks are very unique as well. But talk to me about filming this video and maybe like some of the inspirations behind it. Maybe were you just having fun, fucking around? Like how did this come about?
Well, like editing and shooting, it's not me. It's a circular video on Instagram. It's my good buddy Rocco, and basically we just went to visit him. I just went to visit him for a week, and we had the idea of we want to make a video together. And kind of like the act, we first picked the music that kind of give the vibe of the thing, and him editing wise wants to do special effect and crazy shit like you can see.
Joey, will you find that? Okay, we're gonna have him pull up the full video because I forget that the whole thing wasn't on Instagram. Yeah, so yeah, continue.
No worry. So it's on Instagram, the full video on circular video, but it will be sideways. Otherwise, you have to go on his YouTube channel. But I think there is a link in his profile.
Yeah, and
yeah.
This was just the like I said, the editing was super unique, and it's just so goofy. Like I saw it, I was like, this is the perfect amount of tech, the perfect amount of like editing, and like it all. The theme of the video was really good. I would love to see you release some more videos similar to this nature. Do you have any plans on doing another video like this?
Yeah, we do have some plans. Like we were like this time. So to make this video, I flew over to Rocco's place in Italy, and this time we would like him to come over to France in the Alps where I live. And we have some plans. So let's see. Now we just miss time, but the plans is there.
Dude, the shades. It's so good.
Yeah, go fast. You can run faster. We can.
I fucking love this video.
And he did a great with the editing. Super high.
Same, dog. It's so good. Oh god. Sorry, we had an intruder over here. Yeah, I just love videos that have as much thought as this and as much creative tech. Is like, it's just so well filmed. Shout out to your buddy. What's your friend's name that filmed this?
So it's Rocco, and on Instagram you can find him with the circular videos.
We are gonna put this man's information in the bio.
Some
incredible work.
Yeah.
And yeah, both of you did, I mean, so well that there's so many amazing patterns in here. And like, okay, and casual. I had never seen you do any juggling like 3 poi at all until I watched this video, because you had only been releasing 2 poi videos, and I saw you just hit sebs, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, are you kidding me? How long did it take you of working on sebs? How long did it take you to be able to get it consistently?
Ages. Like it was the backward cascade was the no beat backward cascade was not too slow to get, not too bad. But then the same mess, it was like I think I wasn't expecting like the process to learn to juggle, because when you start to get into juggling, you're like, I know so well the object, it's gonna be easy, but it's like such a different game than 2 poi spinning, obviously. So it took a long time.
Yeah. I've been working on sebs, I think, for probably a year and then maybe a year and a half or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. But there's been times where I haven't been as consistent with practicing it and drilling it, but you come back to it and it's like, if you haven't been consistently working on it and you didn't fully get it down, it feels like I'm just not even close. And it's like, I feel like there's a barrier that I'm stuck in. It's probably around like 9 to 12 catches that it just falls. It just falls apart. And I can't get through the second full repetition of it. It's given me hell. So I always ask people that can do it. I'm like, how long did this trick take you, man? It's brutal.
I think it's the same. It took like a year, and now I don't practice it as much as I used to, but there is also days where, like, even if I practice a bit consistently, there is days where, like, I can do nothing, and then maybe the next day I can do, like, on good days I could do 30, 40 catch, but that's really good days. Usually it's more around 15. So it's like, it's very so it's a weird one because
the day that I run Sebs for 40 catches, Boris, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind, dog. It's gonna be crazy. Oh man, So
it's rare for me too, so I kind of lose my mind as well. Don't worry.
So tell me about your, like, when did you get into poi juggling? How many years in were you?
I think probably, like, the pendulum cascade probably was around 2016 or something. And then pretty quickly, like, Chris Kelly was doing those long 2-part video on YouTube where he was putting out a lot of tricks, like 4-2-3s and a bit of side swaps and stuff as well. And I think it was around that time that I was really like, oh wow, that's freaking cool, I want to get there. So probably I would say 16, 17 maybe.
Yeah. And I liked what you said when you said, you're like, yeah, I know this prop so well. I'm already good at no beats. I'm already good at tosses. Like, this is gonna be no problem. Like, we're just gonna get into it. But folks at home who are getting into poi juggling or are trying to get better at poi juggling, you know how hard it is, and you know how much time it takes to really make it look good. And it feels, because I've done ball juggling. Like, I'm not good with clubs, but it doesn't feel, it feels way more like unattainable. Almost feels like there's such a hill to climb, like a much higher fucking mountain to climb to get really, really comfortable with some like juggling weaves. Like, even just the ability to go from doing sebs on in reverse to being able to go to forwards and do either like mills or some kind of forwards juggling pattern. Like, just turning your body orientation, just that alone with no beats takes so long. It is ridiculous.
I think also for some people, it might be the first prop, like they might be into poi for a couple of years or whatever, and that's the first thing they try to juggle, which is kind of the worst thing to juggle, to be honest. Like, you better out picking clubs or something steady. And for them, it's especially difficult because they don't have the learning process of, like, how to learn a cascade or something like this. And so I would say, like, it's good to pick a few balls here and there just to get comfortable with the motions and then apply it to poi.
Yeah, Bo tells me I should juggle balls more, and I think I'm gonna start juggling balls more, because everybody's always telling me, like, dude, start juggling clubs, and it's like, I don't know how much clubs really would help me.
I don't know. For me, like the flat front throws, this pattern with the clubs, this helped me a lot to get the forward no beats. Like, I was stuck at like maybe 9 catch of the forward, and then I learned with the club, like, just the flat front. And then next day was like 60 catch. So it felt like but maybe also there's a bit of luck, and but it felt like it helped me to unlock something. So sometimes clubs I would say, can be helpful as well.
For sure. And it probably depends on the trick. But I definitely am going to start getting into balls. I feel like understanding a little bit more patterns with balls is going to help me with juggling poi. But yeah, I was incredibly impressed to see how clean you were running sebs in that video. Kudos. So tell me, why do you not release any 3 poi videos at all, Boris?
well, I don't know. Like the truth is, like, there's nothing I do with ⴕ that you haven't seen anywhere, like that you haven't seen already. You know, it's like it's the usual no beat stuff. So I suppose what I tried to do in my 2 video is always to put a couple of new original trick in there, and I'm definitely not there with ⴕ. It's just like you know, I'm just doing the basic no beat stuff, no clean, and plus moreover, like I don't really like to spin ⴕ. I like to learn the juggle pattern, but I don't spin ⴕ much. So for now, it's like basic no beat pattern with a sloppy transition and another pattern you already see. So I feel it's like not super interesting to share that at the moment, but might change.
Okay. You know what? I respect that. I really do, because you know, it's you're not just like, you know, putting it out there like, hey, you know, just so you know, I got that, you know, I got that. So, you know, just so everybody's clear, I can't, you know, but no, the fact that you're doing creative and innovative ⴕ stuff and really showing your personality a lot more, I think that's really cool. And I think a lot of people would like to see you continue to do creative and unique things with ⴕ. So I definitely understand that. I remember asking you about that after the video came out. I was like, dude, what the fuck? You could do Sebs? Like, what? I don't know. I was blown away. So I do want to get into some of the reference videos that you sent us on YouTube. We can go ahead and start whichever. Oh, I know which one he's starting with. All right. We've watched this video maybe a few other times, but I will tell you, this video by Surreal, I have seen more times than any other poi video ever. This is definitely my most watched poi video of all time, for sure. Not even a doubt about it.
Same here. The most watched, and like the top 2, top 3 people are like, there's a lot of contenders, but like top 1 video is like easy for me. It's easy pick. It's this guy doing crazy shit, still super relevant. Like, look at this.
I know.
Not even 10 seconds in.
The way that this was filmed, with him like running the same pattern over and over again in the beginning, and it's just flashes of him running it again and again and again and again. I think it struck me so much, because, you know, when I'm running something so many times in a row, and I'm just dropping it and dropping it and dropping it, or I catch it and I catch it and I catch it. And I just, extremely creative, the visuals in this video of him fading in and out and running those drills constantly. But this video is just really inspired thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, and it's still like, still watching it today, it's not even like good because it's a crazy memory. It's like there's each little thing is like there's a lot to explore from each trick. You still do, like, everything is relevant. And
yeah, extremely, and even some of the one poi stuff that he did is just so special, for sure.
The LB traps and the contacts, it's great stuff. And the little knee, magic thing.
And his aesthetic for the way that he wanted it to appear, like on a grid almost, and the way that he's moving it. Like, I think this is some of the earlier quarter or the box stuff, where he's like creating little boxes, and he's doing it on different. He wants it to be on different sides of his body and in different relations to his body. I think that's some of the earliest stuff I ever saw of that nature. Yeah. Even the contact. I mean, this is the very early stuff, because he was actually a contact juggler. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I'm pretty sure he still is a contact juggler by trade still.
Yeah, you have this show where they mix traditional. I don't want to get mistaken, but some traditional dance and contact juggling with a friend of his. It's really nice.
Yeah, some of his best videos on YouTube are just him in a contact ball. But I think it's fascinating that he's brought so much of that to Poi and just done like this stuff. That's contact juggling stuff on the head. It's so funny. Yeah, I love this stuff. I used to be like, when I first saw this, I was so young. I was like, what is he doing? Like,
I had the same vibe with Melting Poi first, because it was too much for me to understand. I was like just starting out, and I was like, wow, what the fuck? I don't know. Well, I don't have the same relationship with this video because I just didn't get it. Like it was too much for my brain at the time.
Yeah. I asked Joey to let it play because I even after how many times I've seen it, I really could watch this. The whole thing is such a masterpiece. It's so all the different angles, all the different toss tag, incredibly innovative.
Editing. There's also like all those little zoom, those slow motion or faster. All this editing is also really nice. Like, at the time, it was pretty nicely produced. Also, just not trick wise, obviously, but all the edits is cool.
Yeah, and ᴘᴜᴘ. I mean, ᴘᴜᴘ has to be one of the most influential for sure, especially in what now is a huge contact Poi revolution in the Poi world. I mean, people just spin entirely differently now. And I think he was one of the earlier guys to have this sort of new aged style of incorporating contact and weaves and tosses and isolations and manipulations. Like he's just kind of taking, he really put, for me, I always wanted to spin like ᴘᴜᴘ, and I always wanted to find my own versions of the stuff that he was doing, and I wanted it to look like that. I think I've kind of modeled my own taste very much off of this video and a lot of his other videos, for sure.
Yeah, I same. Like definitely him, and I suppose around that time it was like him doing throw and contact and stuff. There was Conan doing flowers and more maybe hybrid stuff, I suppose. Mel with the body tracer, of course. Like he was I didn't put it on my inspiration, but I could have like white pants, of course. And Rust Axel was doing the polygons, for in the part video.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Mel. I feel like these people we've especially this generation of Poi spinners are really taking inspiration from so many different places, and I think he was kind of one of the first people to be molding it all in a style that was just extremely creative. And I think Poi spinning looks more, I want to say looks more like this, but I mean the landscape of contact Poi, at least in the US for sure, is much more similar to this stuff that he's doing. Not obviously this crazy ridiculous contact that he's doing right here, but the way that he is spinning to a Poi throughout the video, like obviously nobody is doing it like him even to this day. He's just, to say he's an innovator is an understatement.
Yeah, crazy good.
I would love to get this guy on. Damn it, I would love to get this guy on. I'm gonna maybe I'll shoot him an email. Maybe I have to contact him via email as well, like I did Nick.
Yeah, maybe try, huh? And you never know. Like, actually did at the French National Convention. I think it was 2017 or 18. He was there for an act, and we did spin some Poi together. So still, he's not spinning as much. He was saying, but he's still liking it. So
no way. How long ago was that?
How long ago?
Yeah.
So I think it was the French National. I can't remember the year. It's the year we win the soccer World Cup. I don't know if that's it. 2017 or 18. Either of them. Yeah.
Okay. And I really hope that somebody like ᴘᴜᴘ would be like, he has to be able to look back at the work that he's done in these the videos and how huge they were for thousands of people, and I feel like he's ready to like have somebody ask him about it. He's ready to, I hope he's ready to ask or to like answer the questions and to like share a little bit more on his story, because we get so much time watching someone's video and dissecting it and talking about it, and it's so pivotal to the way that we're approaching our own art. But we never get to hear them talk about it, and this is one of the reasons I love the podcast, is because I get to hear, what was happening behind the screen. What was your, who did he look up to? What was he taking inspiration from? I'm very glad that you shared that video. I've been waiting for somebody to add that one for sure for a little bit.
I was hesitating only because I was like, probably everybody put this video, so I was like, should I again? But deserve the spot, I think so.
And surprisingly, some more people will mention melting poi and brainstorming. Or was that, which one was that?
Yeah. That was brainstorming, yeah.
Which I prefer. I do prefer, but yeah, a lot of people will mention melting poi as well. Now, Willow and Kaden, 2013, Shirts on Trees. I'm very interested to watch this one again. It's been a long time. Shout out to Willow and Kaden.
Yeah, definitely. Super nice video. I tried to pick like one video from the beginning, like when I was starting out, and one kind of in the middle, and the last one is way more recent, just for kind of a chronology. But this one is, I think they were the first guy that I personally saw doing no beats, which is such a huge thing now with poi. It's like,
Absolutely, no beats are crucial to, a lot of different concepts now. It's opened the doors for a lot of innovation for sure. Ooh, that is a very pretty partner poi toss pattern. Wow, that was very cool.
So and also, also Willow did come to the GC a couple of years, so he was teaching workshop there, and the way he was teaching poi was really influential to me as well, of like how I teach my workshop also. So that's why also the video is there. It's like,
beautiful.
Tricks are crazy.
I love to hear that.
The guy is really,
that's awesome. Yeah, shout out to Willow, man. I love to hear that. Very cool. And teaching is a skill on its own. Ooh, I've been doing those recently. That's so funny to find, to just go back and see that, like, oh, that same pattern was being done back in 2013, 10 years ago, and it's just like, I just barely found it kind of on my own accord, but we find a lot of the same ideas if we're exploring similar branches and working with different stuff.
Sure. This is so nice also, the behind the back tap. There's so much potential from this, I think.
So cool. That's like a half shower almost. That kind of is like a half shower. That's cool. Hell yeah. It's very nice. Yeah, I met Willow at Kindle like last year.
Cool.
Kindle's a great event. If you ever consider coming to the US, Kindle's a fantastic one. As far as West Coast festivals go, it's Kindle and Fire Drums are the biggest ones for sure. Some in the Midwest and a couple on the East Coast that are big as well, but I'd say those are definitely staples. We have some incredible talent. That's actually where I met Wojta as well that same year.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, he did a show out there that was amazing.
Well, yeah. In terms of a show, you don't take much risk if you have Wojta in front. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. You guys did a cool video together. We'll watch it here in a second, or in a little bit. But I was very happy to see the two of you hanging out. Was that at I know that was at one of Wojta's festivals. Which one was that?
It was actually the poi retreat, not a festival.
Right.
He organized a retreat with Nana, this girl, and like it's in a castle in south of France. Super nice retreat.
Yeah, very cool. You guys just get to be spinning poi with a great group of people in a castle. That sounds fucking awesome.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
We'll get on to the last video that you sent, and this is Bo. Speaking of Bo, this is fantastic. You sent 4, I think. Let's watch Noma. This is one of my favorite videos that Bo has done as well. This really embodies such a new and abstract way of of manipulating poi, because he's really not even spinning poi for this whole thing. Bo has such an interesting approach. Oh, and this was the kind of the release of zip poi as well, which you've been spinning zip poi and have done some awesome stuff with this as well. So do you think this video stood out to you more so because of the release of zip poi, or do you think it was Bo's strange artistic approach to manipulating?
Yeah, I would say both. Like I like the creativity behind like deconstructing the object. So now it's just playing with the rope itself. There is part where there is the poi head is not even attached to the rope.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the zip poi were like got me really hyped when I saw the video first. I'd write to him straight. I was like, wow, man, so cool. The video is so good. Now I need a pair or like a set. So he did send me the three zip poi. And yeah, it got me busy for a summer for sure.
Yeah, what a creative gentleman you are, Bo. So reminds me very much of like just a contemporary approach, like a contemporary dance approach almost, except for manipulation. Like he just has such a unique mind as far as the ideas that he has. Like, I don't know, just throwing a ball, rolling it in. Yeah, so tell me about zip poi. What do you think you love? Just the possibility of what zip poi brings to the table, like functionality wise, because I have spun a pair, but it's so different.
Yeah, it is different. I suppose what got me really interested is like all the newness that come to it, because you have to build a whole new grid of understanding of like how things relate to each other. If you throw first handle and catch the second handle, how the poi will zip, how does that translate to patterns? So just the newness of exploration, because
Yeah,
everything you do is new. That's
for sure.
really,
Yeah, they made me get out of my element a little bit, because I was I just was like going to like fishtail and shit, but it was just like, whoa, this is not the same, you know. But they're not really. You just have to use them as a different tool, I guess, and it definitely gets you in a really creative mode for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Fucking Bub just juggling tethers. Okay.
That's called vocalness.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is so fucking cool. Yeah, I love this one. I'm really glad that you added this one as well, because this is definitely a newer video, and I'm glad it still did get some attention for sure. But YouTube is just so hard to make poi videos go, like, I don't say like viral nowadays, but it's like Instagram is kind of where Instagram and other platforms are kind of where we're consuming a lot of the poi content now.
Yeah, definitely. The views don't translate so well to YouTube.
So interesting. But I think what you did was really good by making a video on YouTube and then promoting it on Instagram. I mean, that's what we're doing with the podcast, but it's good to still have long, full-length videos like this. I mean, this is such a so well done, and yours was so well done. So we definitely still need longer format poi videos similar to this that make us inspired and allow us to sit down for 5 minutes and enjoy somebody else's creative mindset for a few minutes and hopefully get inspired and see it a little bit differently, and then maybe you pick up your props and you want to try something different.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree. And just even for your attention span, it's good to, as you said, like brainstorming is 10 minutes, but it's really good to get in the mood for 10 minutes and sometimes to reflect.
The 3 poi section coming up right here is so cool. That is actually what I wish I could do with normal 3 poi, when he's just swapping constantly and replacing constantly, because normally you have to have some kind of swap or switch to get that same result. And the juggling sections right here where he's replacing is so cool. What a silly guy, dude. What a silly guy.
No, but definitely a lot of potential with switchbacks and with juggling in general, I think, for the zīpoja.
Beautiful video. Now I think you had one more, and we'll wait to get into that one, but yeah, shout out to Bo for creating or I don't know if he actually created it. I believe he did the actual zīpoja, but regardless of how much, if he was the creator or the original, I'm not sure. I'll have to get clarification on that, but popularizing the idea and getting it into a mainstream form for Poya, at least mainstream for, getting it well known. Yeah, just awesome work. Yeah, for a niche, for Poi. Now the last video you sent us, two more. Sorry, I apologize. I don't believe I have seen either one of these, so I'm excited to see what we have here.
I don't remember what I said.
Oh, Russ Toxel Poi in the park. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I actually didn't know. I feel like a little bit like I was living under a rock, but I was not familiar with Ross Toxel until within the last couple of years. But this is 2010, so I'm actually even a little bit more surprised that I have not seen this video. But he's been doing great work for a long time now, so I think I'm gonna have to contact this gentleman and see if he would like to do an episode as well.
Definitely, I think you should. Like, he will be up for it.
Yeah, he's done some great stuff with Poi, and like I said, I've learned who he was in the last couple of years. But growing up, I mean, I didn't know who this guy was until probably 2021 or something like that, maybe like 2 years ago. But yeah, talk about clean patterns. This guy's insanely good. Him and ᴜᴜᴜ doing some of the partner stuff that they were doing, like tunnel work, was so good. I loved that video.
Definitely, like, you have a lot of crazy pendulum patterns that you worked on mainly, I suppose. But with this video, it's kind of like a brainstorming in the sense that I watched it so many times when I was starting out. I was like, so there's at some point there is a throw, like a double throw behind the back, or there's a switch, and I repeat that scene so many times. Like, how is it even possible?
Yeah,
it's like inspiring video for me, for sure.
Yeah. There's a video that ᴜᴜᴜ did on YouTube, and he was calling it the Ras Taxol pendulum pattern, and it was just this like goofy ass video. I'll have to watch it on the podcast at some point. But at first I was like, who is that? I'm pretty sure that's how I found out who he was. And I found out that this was a person, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. But yeah, I mean, some of these earlier videos that really build our foundation for what we start exploring are so important, and I feel like this is a fantastic one to have stand out for you. He's already doing some incredible manipulation, like the hybrid one isolation versus one extension into kind of these interesting stall patterns and pendulum patterns. Very interesting.
Yeah, definitely a lot of. And once again, like the kind of old format of a 10-minute straight of tricks, like that's. We don't have this nowadays anymore, but yeah. Right, like, I mean, it's the good old days.
I know, dude. I know, the good old days. Yeah, everybody, the video that everybody sends in is red pants. Everybody sends in red pants, because red pants was very pivotal. I mean, one of the biggest Poi videos ever released, and that was what, like 2008 or something like that. Yeah, fucking crazy.
For sure.
It was so cool having Mel on and being able to chat with him and see what the scene was like in Russia during that time, and kind of like how he came to be. I do those now all the time. That's so cool. Again, another thing that you'll just run into patterns that other people have found years and years and years ago, but you just stumble across it and you're like, oh, well, hey, this is a thing. Interesting. Yeah. Such a special pattern too to find.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, and that's the really like the ⴧ the traditional ⴧ style that we used to see a lot back then. And it looks like the last reference video, or well, yeah. I apologize. I don't know how I'm fucking up. Two more. Apparently, sorry. Okay.
Actually, just for the records, those videos
No,
were like more
absolutely.
for.
I love getting through Poi videos that I haven't seen, and it looks like these are ones that I haven't seen. I'm curious as to which one this is. Are you good, Joey? Do you have audio? Sweet. Now, who is this? I don't.
This one I put it on the list just because I know it's not so known, but it's like super crazy act from 2010.
I haven't heard of this person.
It's a Irish guy. I think he used to train with Ronan.
That's right, because Ronan is from Ireland. I always forget.
Yeah, he is.
I believe. Where's Keith Marshall from? Is Keith Marshall from Ireland, or is he from Scotland? I forget.
He's Scottish.
Yeah, Scottish. That's right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, Keith was also one of the one that Antiphon was one of the video I wanted to put in as well, but I wanted to make.
It's a good one. It is a good one. Another one that is not as talked about, but yeah, I've never seen this. This is great. One of the reasons I love watching the podcast is because I just constantly am finding new videos that were inspiring people. It's awesome. Just goes to show you how many hidden bosses in Poi there are.
Exactly. This one I know because for chatting with other Poi spinners, which is your favorite video, and I show it a couple of times, and it's really rare that it's never. I think actually never happened that people know about him because it's just this one video, and that's all he had put. But I think the actors together. Yeah.
And he's obviously been spinning for quite a while, and these are. That's crazy. This is 2010. Those patterns that he was just barely doing, I feel like those are pretty niche, and I mean those had to have been very new. I don't think I saw that pattern until like maybe 2015, 2014. Maybe, I mean, it just seemed like when I first saw it, probably around 14 or 15, it was so new even back then. So he must have been one of the first people to do that pattern.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I wonder where he is now.
I don't know. I just know that he's Irish. So maybe.
Yeah, one of the. I mean, it looks like he was spinning contact Poi too, so probably one of the earlier contact Poi spinners as well.
Yeah.
I love seeing acts, like actual stage acts that people were doing back then that they put into a video and released on YouTube. Very cool. Now we have floating triquetras.
Ooh.
And I don't believe. Do I know who this is? I don't know if I do.
Oh, that's G from.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah. Just I don't know. It's a tutorial, and for me, this trick was so mind blowing. Like how like just the visual of the Poi coming together.
Yeah,
was really mind blown.
G was another guy that I didn't know back then, but I've found in the last couple of years when talking about the earlier tech Poi spinners like Alien John, and I didn't really know who G was or Alien John until within the last couple of years. But when I saw that fire performance video that G did, that he's more or less like famous, quote unquote famous for, but that was just an unbelievable fire performance. If you guys haven't seen that video, go watch it. It's just G fire spinning. I forget the exact title, but it'll pull it up. This is just a beautiful video featuring a ton of. You haven't?
Antique Beat is the name of the music. I think if you put G Antique Beat fire, if you don't.
Yeah. But just incredible plane breaking for sure.
Yeah. Super clean.
So we'll kind of dive into the last couple topics that we have left. So I did want to talk about, you have been spinning for so long, and you just barely within the last, well, it's probably been like not even a year since you started creating or releasing videos on Instagram. What was the motivation to finally get into releasing some online content?
Well, I suppose the non-motivation for doing it for a long time was that I was afraid it will get in the way of my creative process. I was just like, wow, if I start to do this, maybe I'm gonna put pressure on myself. It's gonna be annoying. It's kind of a personal thing that I do, so I want to keep it, creative and enjoyable for me. And so for some years, I think I was a bit afraid of that, and probably it's the same reason why I don't perform as much, or perform at all. It's like also, putting some, was questioning what kind of impact it will have on me and on my practice, most importantly. And but recently I just had a break, like I kind of completely quit Poi for 2 years or so, like from 2019 to early 22. I didn't spin. I was like completely lost interest. I thought it was over. I was like trying to spin a bit. I was like, well, I prefer to do something else. So I thought I was done. And then for some reason, I wish I had a better story, but for some reason one day I was like, today I feel like spinning. And so I got a set from Bo, and that's that year that I started to post things. I was like, now at least I'm doing it, I enjoy it. Maybe I should share my stuff while I'm practicing, because I might stop again, I don't know, and then everything goes to be forgotten.
Right. And it's very nice to have videos to look back on to see, well, what was I doing, 2 years ago or a year ago, 3, it's great to be able to have a catalog of your work and some of the ideas that you've been working on in the last couple of years. Because whenever I'm feeling a little bit stagnant, or I'm kind of feeling a little bit lost in what I'm going to do next, it's really nice to have those videos to come back to and revisit some of the ideas that you feel like had some more juice left in them, and had some, some stuff that you could pull and be like, all right, well, that could go further. That could be modified. Maybe that will lead into something. So it's definitely nice having videos to just be there. I don't know, just having a library of your work for sure is the way I like to say it. So, and now, did any of your kind of fears come true about, like, how has, if at all, how has your relationship changed with Poi in the time that you've been releasing online content?
Like it did change slightly, I suppose, but it's more like a positive change than anything. Like I feel slightly more productive, creative than when I wasn't doing videos. And I suppose, that's mainly positive so far.
Maybe like more motivation too, right?
Yeah, like it's like when you release a video, I'm already thinking, okay, I put those tricks there. I know I have this still under my sleeve. What else I can do? And I'm already thinking about the next one. And even like recently, we've been producing the music for the few last reel I did with a friend. Or like I say we, it's I mean him, because I'm just sitting by his side and telling, can you do the more blah? And he can do it for me. I have no control over the software itself. But even like little project like this, it's cool because you get friends involved, and it's interesting it's really good to have an artistic project, I suppose.
We are very glad that you started releasing videos. Now, when I saw the first video that you put out, and I was like, whoa, the fuck is this guy? and then just video after video, you've been, I mean, just the quality of each video, I think is really why, not like the whole reason that your channel has blown up, but the uniqueness of each video that you're putting out. It's very calculated, and you're just have done so many different things. And I'm pretty sure you've only released like probably like less than 25 videos or something like that on Instagram, but every single one of them are worth a watch. They're all great. Did it at all surprise you to see such traffic on some of the recent videos? Like, how has that been? Have you just, it's been crazy.
Yeah, when a couple of like there's a video that did like almost 3 million view. That's insane. That's
Yeah, dude. Millions. So fucking cool, man.
but that's funny. Yeah, for sure. It's a funny thing, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, the video that blew up is one of the one where we did the music with my friend. So it's also cool for my SoundCloud friends. Like kind of work
Oh,
for him a
that's
little
great.
bit. It's
That
nice.
is so cool. I'm sure that they appreciated that video doing well too. That's awesome. I didn't
Yeah,
know
for
that.
sure. And I don't know if you catch on it, but the intro of the video, it's ᴛɪᴜᴜᴜᴜ voice that we sampled.
No way.
And he's the sentence. It's a bit hard to catch, but the sentence is like, "Are you ready for the 3-bit wave?"
No way. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to send that. I'm gonna have to send that to Nick. Joey, will
I
you
did
pull
already.
up the video? Will you pull up the video on Boris's Instagram? It's Boris and 괘ᴜᴜ. I really love this collab that you two did. I have a feeling, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that you came up with the some of the choreography in this video. Am I wrong?
Yeah, like I think it was a teamwork, but yeah, like we wanted from the beginning to do like some right angle, Austin Witherspoon kind of style stuff. So that's
I
what we went
love to
for.
hear Austin's name. Just it's so cool, so cool. Shout out to Austin. I know he probably won't ever see this. Maybe I'll send
Yeah.
it to him and encourage him to get back on the horse. We love you, Austin. Now, the reason I ask you if if you put together this thing is because it just the quarter time stuff where you're flipping it on your arm. It just reminds me of your videos. Like ᴘᴜᴜ's style is he does do a lot of really unique stuff.
Mhm.
But it just looked like so much of the way that you're doing stuff right now. I love to see it. Yeah, if you want to pull up one of the ones that did crazy good recently, that would be sweet. I think
The
had to have
one
been
with the mountain in the background. I think the one
yeah.
just before ᴘᴜᴜ.
Yeah, this is unreal. This is sitting at a couple million views right now. We'll let it rewind because the opening is incredible. Yeah,
And this
so
is
I
the
mean,
one. Where,
great background. Extremely, you're doing so many different ideas and concepts in this. I thought it was very well choreographed in the sense of like you're just incorporating a lot of different combinate like flowers and tosses and quarter time stuff.
yeah,
And that opener
well, yeah,
is so cool.
yeah. I tried to put I tried that the video contrast to them because I think that's what makes it interesting. If it's kind of always the same throw or always the same spinning or always body tracer done at the same speed, I think it's have less aesthetic interest and there's a lot of speed, different quality of movement, and different kind of move itself. Like so, I
It's
always try
so
to
good.
balance those things. Yeah,
No, you
so
do
it
that
was
really
nice.
well. I think that's why you're like the clip as a whole is so good because of that reason. Because you do have a taste for putting together the right amount of manipulation versus, flowers you're throwing in and I mean very much so to what we were saying about Cyril or surreal. Sorry, I always say I catch myself saying it like that because that's how I said it for years. But the way that we were talking about surreal being like that, and how we've both been inspired very much by that kind of idea of throwing in all these different ideas and aspects of poi into one thing and you're just incorporating it back to back to back to back and all these different ideas. So I think I'm really excited to see just where you continue to grow from here. Yeah, it's just been awesome to have somebody new in this space, or like quote unquote new, but in the online space that's been releasing special content. So fucking love it, man. You're killing it. I'm very proud of you. I want to yeah. I want to get into the segment of the podcast where we had fans write in, ask questions for you, and Joey's going to go ahead and ask one or two of those goofy questions, and we're going to throw it over whenever he's ready.
Hey, what's going on?
Yo, Joey.
So I have two questions. One of them is a little more serious, and the other one's a little more funny. The first
Okay.
one from Mattis Mad on Instagram asked, "What are your thoughts on glow stringing?"
On glow stringing, well, I've not much thought on it, to be honest. I know one guy on Instagram that I follow that I like. Cannot pull his name out of my hat now, but yeah, I like glow stringing for sure. Like it's cool. Definitely some inspiration to be drawn from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose glow stringing wise, what popped to my mind is also Justin Hindi. Don't know what you say.
I grew up with Justin. Yeah.
And the guy is like so good, super elegant, super nice style, and it's from stringing, I suppose. So yeah, more stringing is cool.
Yeah. And the more funny one, this one was from at Tristan Koza, asked, "How does one grow a mustache so pristine?"
Well, it's a bit of time, I suppose. You have to be willing to go through a phase where it's look like shit because it's really small, the side things. And if you
bro, don't call me out like that, Boris. Yeah, don't call me out like that. Damn, dude, he's built different. That's how. Fuck that question. All right. So we want to get to a couple. I wanted to touch on training or practice regimen because we were talking about juggling and it being so much different than ᴜᴜᴜᴜ in that sense. Typically in your sessions, do you have a more like free flow type of improv sessions, or are you more engaged in regimented specific drilling of stuff?
I think it's depend a lot on. First of all, it's depend of if I go to juggle or if I just spin. If I juggle, it's pretty regimented in the sense it's like I'm just counting catches or try to aim for a flash or trying to aim for whatever the number is I'm working at the moment. So juggling wise, I would say it's pretty specific and structured. But spinning wise, it varies a lot from session to session, and I think into one session also. It can start at just like a flow whatever randomness. I came across a trick that I forgot. I'm like, wow, this is nice, and then that become a tangent of like, okay, now let's see, starting there, what kind of things I can come up with, playing with the timing, the direction, if it's a throw, like different places of the body, and that become a bit regimented. But then I can fall back to flow, or it's like. I usually have a couple of ideas in mind, but other than that, it's I let it up to the session to kind of unfold.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like creativity-wise, I feel way more creative with ⴜᴜᴜᴜ. ⴜᴜᴜᴜ does feel a little bit like there's so much that's possible, but it does feel at times I have to be very, very specific. I know Bo will appreciate that because we had that conversation. But yeah, ⴜᴜᴜᴜ allows me to be a little bit more spontaneous and improv oriented. And yeah, I think there's necessary for both. You have to be regimented at sometimes, and then you have to be able to kind of touch with the purest inspiration of as far as like creativity and just kind of letting actively trying to not do something that you've done before. It's a really interesting drill and a really fun way to try to spin for a little bit, but just to try to do something that you have not done before and to stay away from the stuff that you know how to do. So yeah, having that approach, that dynamic of time is really important. Cool, man. Well, I want to get to any like closing out, maybe like artists that are inspiring you right now, or any kind of closing out thoughts that you want to do, shout outs, any kind of stuff like that. Who's inspiring you right now?
Right now, I guess I can say Meet. It's like Romain, this guy with a triple staff, because I just bought triple staff, so I'm finding myself digging into his Instagram, and the guy is like super good, super nice stuff to watch. And boy-wise, I guess since I'm on Instagram, which as we said is like a year ago, there's a couple of guys that I didn't know before coming on the platform, including you, for example, that I watch, and obviously like what you do, like super clean, nice sense of aesthetic. I don't know, I like it.
It's different. And also, it's weird. Different stuff.
What is it?
I said I just like my approach is very different and weird, just in the same way that you're finding people that are so far into it and they're just kind of have a very like weird, like unique approach to it. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's so many people like that, but yeah. Anyways, continue.
And then I suppose like another guy that I like at the moment is Intricate String. Intricate String and Thibaut Chabert, my buddy as well. Those two guys are like crazy tech guy. Really like what they do. And of course, like I didn't mention, but like because to me it's obvious, but like Tim Goddard, like the GOAT. So like it's so obvious that I don't even have to mention it. I feel,
I know. Truly, dude. Truly. If I had to pick one, if there could only be one GOAT in my mind, Tim's got to be it for me. I'd say so. Just the longevity of creation and relevance. I mean, Tim's been murdering for so long; it's unbelievable. But no, those are amazing references. Some great shout outs. All those folks are definitely up there on my priority list as far as like people who I'm really, really inspired by. Yeah, and what's great is how I think we've had on pretty much all those people. That's so cool. I love that. Just reflecting on the incredibly creative and just awesome people in his space that are willing to sit down for interviews like yourself. I've been super pumped for this episode because I feel like I've been trying to get more European poi spinners and jugglers on here because I've been like American culture, floor art culture is like it's kind of a little bit different in a couple senses, but it's great to have on folks from different parts of the country, different parts of the world that are doing special stuff with poi and having really fun approaches. So it's been really cool, man. And yeah, shout out to Wojta and Rastaxa. I feel like I always butcher those names and say it like Americans, but yeah, this has been so many good people that we touched on. Any closing thoughts about the podcast, about the episode? I hope you had fun. It was a great one.
Well, the podcast was really nice. Like I was slightly nervous because I never did the podcast before, but you guys are great hosts, so you made me comfortable and everything was great. So podcast-wise, it was thanks a lot. And closing thoughts, don't know, like right now it's snowing outside, which is the first snow of the season we get. So I'm gonna pull my main prop, which is ski actually, and maybe stuff for the future. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's currently 11 o'clock a.m. for us, and it's probably approaching quite late for you.
What time is it actually? It's 6 p.m. It's fine. 6 p.m.
So cool. Well, dude, yeah. I hope you have the good, a good first snow of the year, and yeah, it's just been great, man. I'm excited to see you continue to release fucking awesome content on Instagram and hopefully more YouTube videos as well. Some longer ones would be fucking awesome. Yeah, sweet, dude. It's been super fun. Y'all know where to find this man on Instagram. Hopefully, keep killing it, Boris. Thank you so much for your time today, man.
Thanks to you guys. It was a blast. Thank you.
Peace out.